was walking up, and all of a sudden I started getting really dizzy.
Whoa.
I was like, what the fuck is happening? You know, and we watch a lot of paranormal stuff, and you know, the fact that I know people get full or start getting dizzy means
like something.
Exactly. Something is either with me or it's like near me and it's like sucking up my energy. What is good, guys? It's your boy Corey.
It's your boy John.
And welcome back to the Artistry Drop, where we feature stories from today's rising artists. Guys, we have an exciting guest today. It's one of our first makeup artists on, the Artistry Drop. So super excited to get into her story and, learn a little bit more about her. Our guest today is a professional makeup artist specializing in beauty, effects, and body painting. She's created characters for numerous music video, commercials, films, and shows. Guys, please welcome our guest, Shaina Paulson. Let's go. Thank you for coming on the show again, Shaina. Super excited to have you because, like I said, you're our first, makeup artist or visual effects or effects artist. So definitely excited to, learn more about you. Before we do, let's get into the drink of the day.
All right, the drink of the day is a Shirley Temple. We had to bring it back. We had the Shirley Temple on Andreo Fanatic Herd's podcast, and Corey said we had to bring it back.
We had to bring it back. It's too good. This
is the legendary Shirley Temple. A normal Shirley Temple comes with like 7-Up. Ginger ale, some lime juice, grenadine, but I added my own twist to it and really added some lime juice and orange juice, and then just topped it off with some lime wedges and some cherries. So this is the Artistry Drop signature.
Yes, and I'm super excited to get right into it.
Yes, sir.
All right, let's do the infamous cheers.
Cool, cheers. Thank you guys for having me.
Of course, to a good podcast. Let's do it. Yes. That is good.
That's good.
Is that it?
You like that? Have you ever had a Shirley Temple?
Mm-hmm. Okay. I have, but this one has a twist to it.
Right? Yeah. See, that's why I was trying to change it up and stuff like that. So, I keep saying the alcohol version is really good. It's a spiked one.
Yeah.
But guys, let's go ahead and get into learning a little bit more about Shaina. Are you originally from LA?
No, I'm from Maryland, actually.
Okay, so when did you come to LA?
About 5.5 years ago. So in 2016, in the summer, I just moved out here.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Just on the whim? Like you're like, I want to move to LA? Or was there something that kind of, made you want to move out here?
Well, yeah, makeup and special effects and stuff was what was pulling me out here. So I was working in DC, so it's the DMV area, DC, Maryland, Virginia.
Oh, yeah.
So I grew up there pretty much my whole life, from elementary school to college. But then I started feeling too comfortable there.
Yeah,
I feel because I've just been there my whole life, and everyone there, they kind of they don't have really an artistic outlet, or it's not as accepted as a career field there.
Yeah. Okay.
And so they're just you can be a dentist, a doctor, a lawyer, all these very standard professions, but no one ever gave me the option to be you can be a painter, you could be a makeup artist, you could be a lighting tech, or anything.
Yeah.
And so once I discovered that makeup was what I wanted to do and transform people into characters and whole world, I was oh, LA is the place to do that. That's where they make movies in Hollywood.
Yeah.
And so then I got everything just clicked one day, and I was this is what I'm supposed to do. This is what I meant to do with my life. And so I started saving for 3 months or whatever at work. Save up a little bit of money, and then I just booked a one-way ticket here, and I was all right, I'm gonna do it.
Nice.
Have you ever been to LA before, moving down here?
Twice. I had one of my best friends lived out here, so I knew one person.
Okay.
And then I went once for a business trip or something before, and that was a year before I moved, and I was oh, the city's really cool, and I was I feel I would really, really love it here.
Yeah.
Oh,
and then it just clicked, and then I just moved out here.
What are some of the things that you find different? We always ask people who are from the East Coast, how is the East Coast compared to the West Coast? As far as you mentioned a little bit of artistry, but as far as people and environment as well.
It's really cold.
I bet, yeah. We're from Seattle, so
we're from Seattle too.
So
we kind of have the same exact story. Seattle is more of a tech city. It's not any place where we can get creative with art and stuff because we do photography, film, and all that kind of stuff. So it's not something that you can do back home in Seattle. And we actually on our last episode we talked about about moving to LA, why we moved and stuff like that. And LA is just the place to be if you're trying to be creative.
Right.
So that's why it took some convincing for me to get him to move down here as well. But ever since moving down here, it's it's so dope connecting with all artists of all types, whether you're a filmmaker, photographer, makeup artist, like it's so cool having more artists around us than we did in Seattle, because when we were shooting like independent artist music videos back home in Seattle, it was just us. It was it was just a 2-person team, because I went to film school in Seattle, but it was like a lot of the people weren't about it. They weren't about pursuing they were
doing it.
Actually doing the work, So it was like, it was hard, because going to film school, you expect everybody has the same mindset.
Passionate.
Be passionate.
It's like, why would you enroll if you
exactly,
don't want to do
exactly.
it?
So it was like,
pay all that money.
And film school's expensive. It's expensive. So that's why it was hard, I think, in Seattle, because a lot of people didn't have that mindset. It was like, I'm gonna continue doing this. And a lot of the people I went to film school with aren't even doing it anymore.
That's crazy.
It's crazy. You spend over like $60,000 to $80,000 on something.
Something you don't want to do.
Seriously. And why are you not pursuing it? So, but
it is a mindset, honestly.
It's a mindset.
Different.
It is. And so that's why when we moved down here, I was like super excited to just meet with other artists and connect with them, because it was such a different experience being in Seattle. We just didn't have that. It was just me and him. Shooting music videos, meeting other musicians, and stuff like that. And now that we're out here, it's like meeting everybody in any kind of field. It
really
gives
cool.
It's so cool, just connecting with everybody, being friends, or even like if we need somebody to come on set, work something on our music video, then it's perfect. So I get exactly what you're saying. Like, you need to be here to do the artistry that you need to do.
Especially to that extent, this is where Hollywood is, so like a lot of people take themselves more seriously in a more professional manner as well. But aside from the artistry, we want to get to know you a little bit more. Like, what's your ethnicity?
I'm Indian.
Oh, you're Indian? Okay. Have you been back since you moved here?
I've only visited India like once. So
Really?
I've only been there once. When I was like 19.
Were you born there, or you?
No, I was born here. I was born in Florida, actually. So I was born in Florida, but I lived there till I was like 9, and then I moved to Maryland, and then I grew up the whole time there.
Okay. Do you have family in Florida?
I would have like a little bit. I have like some aunts and uncles in Florida, but mainly my family is like all over. They're like in Maryland and Florida and like Kuwait and Paris and Australia, like just all over, all different countries and cities.
Yeah, that's dope though.
That is dope.
Before you got into makeup, I know, I had to do some research on you. We both had to do some research on you.
Background check.
We had to do background check. We have to make sure we're on point with our questions. But, I went through your IG, and, I noticed you did a lot of like makeup and body stuff on yourself, and you had a lot of photography in the beginning, and you took photos of yourself on whatever you did. So like, did you get into makeup and stuff before, like, doing like any kind of like the body art and stuff like that?
No, actually I was an environmental scientist before, so it was really different. So I went to school for that, and then I was gonna get like my MBA, like master's in business, and I was like doing all these courses and like on the track for that, and I like worked in DC for like a year, and then I was gonna just go on that track, because like that's what everyone around me was doing, is like doing just degrees and stuff. But then a lot of people just like hated. They just waited till 5 o'clock. They would just like count down and be like, "Oh, I can't wait till I'm home, or I can't wait till the weekend." I'm like, "Why are you like counting down to something? That's literally like 80% of your life."
Exactly.
And so, and then when I found my passion. I was like, "Oh, this is what I do like every single day." So I started teaching myself super quick. And I would just like watch a bunch of videos. I'd read textbooks on it and just like watch other artists. And I started myself because I'm on my own face. So I can just do it anytime I want. So I started practicing on myself, and then when I moved out here, I was like, I need to build a portfolio, because if I don't have any photos, like no one can see my work.
Right.
And so I started doing it myself, and then I met up with the street photography community, and LA has like a huge street photography community, like all the photo media. Like it's so cool because there's just different artists out there. There's like actors, dancers, performers, fire spinners, photographers, videographers, like just so many people, and makeup artists. And so I would like start dressing up and doing different like body paint looks, and then get photos from like really good photographers, and then just use that as my portfolio.
Yeah, that's dope. So I mean, like, how did you actually get into doing like makeup and body art type of stuff? Like, was it you had seen a video and you're like, I want to try this one day, or like, how did you exactly get into it?
Well, actually, it was like one Halloween, like long time ago, maybe like 2015. I saw like a Dia de los Muertos makeup, and I'm like, oh, those are beautiful. And I was like, let me try it on myself. I never tried it. And then I did I want to do like a half Dia de los Muertos makeup and a half my normal makeup. And I tried it, and I was like, oh, this is like actually pretty easy for me to like do it. And I thought it would like turn out bad, but it turned out like actually like pretty decent for just like trying it once. Yeah. And I was like, and I was like, this is so much fun. And I started trying it on like my friends back home for like makeup, and I was like, this is a lot of fun. And I would just like get so lost in it.
Yeah.
And then I started looking at different video tutorials, and then eventually I got like this textbook on special effects makeup, and started reading that, and then learning more courses, and then just like learning as much as I could.
Okay. Yeah. Was that like back at home, or was that when you were already moved down to?
Back at home. So I literally only taught myself for like 6 months probably before moving out here. So probably 5 or 6 months to like when I realized it, to like 6 months of just learning and like practicing every day after work.
Yeah.
And then just like being like, all right, I'm ready. And then just like moving out here. But obviously I wasn't ready because I never worked on set, and like I don't know the set lingo and etiquette and like all that. But I felt like I learned enough about like sanitation and how to build a kit, and like slowly over time, like I would learn more and more. But in 6 months, I just taught myself like the basics of what I thought I would need to know. And then
that's dope.
No, that's dope. So like, you know, we know you as like more of a SFX makeup artist and stuff like that. I mean, you were doing makeup and all that before SFX. When it comes to like makeup, would you say? Because I guess maybe some people get confused on the term makeup. It's a makeup like on models, or like what do you consider makeup, I guess?
It's different. So I actually started doing special effects before I started beauty makeup.
Oh, gotcha.
Because I started with like, I guess body painting too.
Okay.
So I started body painting and special effects like on myself, and even though my special effects wasn't, it was like, you know, on YouTube there's a lot of like influencers who do special effects, but it's really not what you should do at all. It's like liquid latex and cotton. It's so bad. But that's why I started. And then I started doing that and just like basic stuff for SFX and body painting. And then everyone's like, oh, but we need normal makeup, because like there's way more just gigs for normal makeup. And then I was like, oh, let me start teaching myself normal makeup. But I think because I already like understood color theory and skin tone and everything, that it was like easier to pick up. And so I learned that afterwards, and then now my gigs, it's like 60% beauty, 40% special effects.
That's crazy, because like
it's like a good mixture.
I feel like a lot of people start with makeup first, because obviously they do makeup on themselves, they do makeup on their friends, and then they get into SFX. So that's really crazy how like you kind of went backwards. And how was that transition for you, like going from SFX to makeup? Was it harder or was it easier?
I think it was actually, I don't know if it's harder or easier. It was different, because like special effects makeup is like creature makeup. You know, you're transforming someone's features already. You're like turning someone into like an alien, a zombie, like whatever. But beauty makeup, you're just enhancing their natural features. So like they're gonna have more opinions of what they want to look like, because you know it's themselves. So you don't want to like, I don't want to make someone be like, oh, I don't like this, I look uncomfortable, or they think they look bad or whatever. So like, but an alien, they're gonna be like, oh cool, I've never been an alien. Like, so they're not gonna have as much like opinion. They think it either looks good or it doesn't. But that they're like, oh, I don't like my eye shape, or I don't like how my lips are drawn. So it was a little more challenging, because like, oh, I have to really make sure like they have the best experience and they like how all their features look. So
because of SFX, you know, like you said, you know, when you make them an alien, you have a lot more like free roam, like creativity, because you could do whatever you want.
Yeah, you're like
but with, being a makeup artist, I see, you know, by enhancing their features, and you also have to make them feel really comfortable in their own skin. So I could definitely see it like that.
So when you went into like just doing like regular like beauty makeup, what did you start practicing on, maybe yourself or somebody, before you actually went into doing gigs, or did you just go right into it and hoping like, because you haven't done it before, so what was your practice method, I guess, before you started taking on gigs?
Well, before I started taking on actual gigs, I would start doing more collabs and like trade for print and stuff, because I didn't want to like just go into a gig and pretend I know everything and then like don't. So, and there's only so much I can do on my own face, because I already know my own features. I know my eye shape, I know my skin tone, I know like my eyebrow shape. So I needed to really do it on other people. And so I would just like link up with different models and photographers, and they're like, hey, we want to do a shoot, and then I would do the model's makeup. We would just do a quick photo shoot, and then I would start getting more practice that way.
That makes sense. And you know, it's so crazy, like literally, you know, how somebody's face shape can change so much, like when it comes to being a makeup artist. And you know, I've never looked at it like that. I've always looked at it like, oh, you're just putting makeup on. But you know, everybody has a different nose shape and all that, so I've never actually took that into consideration.
It's very definitely more detailed than we and just by hearing you explain, you know, the difference between SFX and, you know, being a makeup artist, definitely gives us like a deeper appreciation for that, because you know, us as filmmakers and photographers, you know, we do look at like details like that, but by you mentioning, definitely opened up a whole different door to what we see.
Definitely not when it comes to the makeup side of things, because I mean, obviously we don't know anything about makeup and stuff like that, so it's just those small details can really affect a final outcome when it comes to makeup.
Yeah,
so that's super
like,
crazy.
Even more too, like the lighting and everything, how it involves with the makeup, and there's so many like little things of like what light are they shooting on, what lens are we doing, like it affects it all because like if you have like say a bruise, right, it's like bluish purple, but you have a blue light and no one tells you it's gonna be blue light, it's gonna be gone. Like blue and blue they cancel out. Or if like you do beauty makeup and you like don't match someone's undertone right and they put the light on, it'll look like ashy or it'll look like wrong, so you have to like be very aware of like everything. Really
no, that makes sense. That's dope though that you just pay attention to those small details, you know. Knowing that you got into like SFX stuff first, what really drew you into doing like SFX makeup?
I always loved Halloween and like horror as a kid and stuff, and so I was like obsessed with like the Addams Family and like all the Tim Burton stuff, and so I just loved like the world that it created. It was like a very fantasy world, and like all these characters were so like different. So it really took you to like a whole different place, and I thought that was so fun. And so I think that one, because you see like for beauty makeup, I love it too, but you don't see as big a difference. You're like, oh, everyone looks like beautiful, they look great, and like it is very artistic also. But then for special effects, it just takes you to this whole like fantasy realm, and I thought that was so fun.
No, that is cool, and you know, like I love Halloween. I think I messaged you. You were at, I forget what it was, but you're at a Halloween or a haunted house, I think.
Oh, probably. I probably went to like some of like a horror nights or something.
Yeah, or something like that. And I know you were saying, "Oh, this place looks so haunted" because you were on set. And you remember when I messaged you?
Oh, it was the actual haunted house.
Yeah, right.
It was scary.
Yeah. And I was like, "Oh, I want to visit that place," because you know, like I love paranormal stuff. I don't know about you, because I know like, you know, when it comes to horror and paranormal, I feel like there's still kind of a different genre, because horror is definitely more like, you know, Freddy Krueger,
like
Pennywise,
slashers,
slasher films and stuff like that. But paranormal,
it's like creepy. It's like to your soul. You're like, whoa.
Because it's like it's real stuff and it happens, you know. So I don't know what draws me to like paranormal, but I mean, you know, me and my girlfriend watch paranormal stuff every day, like Exorcist videos. It's crazy. I mean, like, what is your take on like paranormal stuff versus horror, knowing that you love like scary movies and stuff?
It's funny because everyone like would assume, because I love like horror movies and like creepy things and just fun stuff, that like I would love going on like real ghost tours or real haunted things, but I like hate it because like I feel like I can feel energy, and if it's like creepy, I'm like, oh no, I don't want nothing following me home. Like, I get so creeped out. But everyone's like, when I thought you would like it, but I'm like, I like the fake scary. So like going to like Halloween style like haunts and events and like spooky things that aren't like actually no one has died in there or been murdered. So like I think paranormal stuff, like I definitely believe in it, then it's really fascinating, but like also I'm like, I'm not trying to go. I'm not trying to like break into a graveyard and like see things.
That's me. I don't even know the difference. This is all scary to me.
I can't even get him to watch like horror or paranormal or scary movies.
He's like, but I don't.
It takes a lot of convincing, like a lot of convincing, just to get him to, you know, join us and watch.
Last year we went to horror nights. Have you been to horror nights?
Yeah, it's fun. I used to work there for 2 seasons, so it was fun.
Okay, that's dope. No, so one experience, like, because, you know, the fact that you brought up, like, you don't want anything following you home. So, you know, I brought him, my girlfriend, and one of our other friends along, because I'm a huge Michael Jackson fan. And, you know, we went to, like, his little, what was it, 10 or 11 year, you know, death anniversary thing, where a whole bunch of fans gather at the cemetery. And, you know, so after we were kind of done, we went inside the mausoleum part. I think it's called the Great Mausoleum in Glendale. And we were walking around, and all of a sudden, like, I started getting dizzy.
Oh shit!
I started getting. I told him this too, and even my girlfriend. Yeah, I mean, even my girlfriend said she felt like really full.
Oh, that's
you know,
so weird.
But I was good.
He was good.
You're like, I'm protected.
So like it was really weird. Like I was, you know, the Great Mausoleum is like, I want to say maybe 4 stories.
Yeah, it's big.
Yeah, it's really big.
Oh, wow,
so it's like it's big. So and they had a lot of famous people in there too. They had like Elizabeth Taylor.
Oh wow.
A lot of other famous, like, you know, Disney people or people you've seen on, like, you know,
movies and stuff.
Yeah, movies and stuff, you know. But yeah, you know, I was walking up, and all of a sudden I started getting really dizzy.
Whoa.
I was like, what the fuck is happening? You know, and we watch a lot of paranormal stuff, and, you know, you know, the fact that I know people get full or start getting dizzy means
like something.
Exactly. Something is either with me or it's like near me and it's like sucking up my energy or something like that. Yeah. So I believe in that stuff.
Yeah.
You know?
I stayed by the car while we went.
You're like, I'm gonna hang back on this one.
But I went in and I was like,
No, and that's why, you know, like bringing up the fact that you're like saying, you know, you don't want anything following you home. Like once we left, I said, nothing follow us home. You are not allowed to come with us.
Especially when we were driving. I was
you're like,
serious.
I was literally saying it to them in the car as we drove off. I rolled down the windows. I was like, you guys cannot follow us home. You know, you're not welcome. And
you're
stuff.
like, I'm just putting it out there.
Yes. No, because, you know, watching a lot of paranormal YouTubers and stuff, they say the same exact thing. So it's like, if I didn't watch that, I probably would have just left.
Yeah.
And who knows, like a spirit would have followed us home.
Right.
You know.
And I always joke with them about like having a spirit box and bringing it to the house.
You know what a spirit box is?
No, what's that?
Okay, so a spirit box is pretty much, it's a, so they usually they make them, but now they have apps and stuff, you know, on them. And pretty much what it does is it goes through radio channels. And what tends to happen is when a spirit tries to connect with you or contact you, it'll use the radio to
like make some type of frequency.
Make some kind of frequencies, and we'll even use certain words that are possibly on the radio. It's weird, you know. There's a lot. There's a lot of like, I don't know, like technologies that go into it, or you know, a lot to understand how like spirit box actually works. But yeah, I mean, there's one time where they were all trying to like be funny, but I'm like, bro, I believe in this stuff. Like, don't
fuck with it.
Don't fuck with the spirit world, because you just never know what can come through. Because you know, like a lot of ghost hunters on YouTube, they use spirit boxes, but they say, you know, a lot of people that aren't used to it like shouldn't use it, because you never know if you're gonna pull a spirit through.
Through the box.
Yeah, through the box. So I'm like, bro, like don't.
Like, don't give me this.
Yeah, he was doing it. We were all in his room, and then as soon as he whipped it out, I left. I was like, bro, I'm done.
That would literally be me. I'd be like, I'm out.
No, I was done. So yeah, no, I mean, that was a good talk. I just wanted to kind of get your take, because, you know, knowing that you love horror, you know, I wanted to see your take on like paranormal stuff, because it is a little bit different.
I'm not about it. It's funny because like so many places that we film like different sets they want, because they're like, oh, we want a creepy mausoleum or a creepy house, and like these places are like actually haunted. I'm like, I'm gonna start adding this to my invoice. Like, creepy fee. Like, I don't want to film here. Because I've had so many stories, and I'm like,
creepiest place you've worked at.
Have you had any experiences?
Yeah. Oh my goodness. They're just creepy. I've had a few. One of them was this house. I forget where it is. I think it's in Pasadena. And it was this house. I already got like a weird vibe as soon as I went there. Like, it's creepy. And then I look at this plaque, and it's like, oh, one of the ghost tours in LA. So I used to be on the tour list for like the ghost tours for like a haunted place, because it's real. And I was like, oh fuck. I was like, why are we here?
Yeah. That might have been the one I actually messaged you.
I think it was that one.
It was probably
one of the creepy dolls.
Yeah, that sounds familiar. Yeah, that sounds
so like
familiar.
that one. There's like this creepy doll with its eyes blacked out or whatever. And I was just like joking and like recording and be like, this place is creepy. And as soon as I like recorded it, my screen went black. And I like deleted it. And whoever like took a picture, like the picture was gone from their phone, or it like was like blurry or like something happened. And I was like, nope, never mind. Like, it doesn't want to be photographed. And then like the window, it was a windy day too, but like the windows literally like slam open and closed. And then sometimes the doors would open and close on their own. And I was like, and it would just be like a weird feeling. And then this other one, it was a ranch up in like a movie ranch up in Santa Clarita, and it was like also known for being very haunted. And I was just day playing on it, so I wasn't there the whole week. I was just like coming in to help out and like assist. And so the people that were on there, the film crew, the whole week, they're saying that like they've had weird stuff happen. They've like been in places where no one is, and they've heard like voices or like felt it was like heavy. And so the audio guy, he like went far away from like all the people, because he's trying to get like Foley of like footsteps or whatever. So he put his mic like down by his feet, like no one's around, only by his feet, and he was like crunching or whatever. He listens to the playback and he hears like old man being like, get the fuck out, or like fuck you or something. Shit. Like, and everyone was listening to it back, and you hear a voice and there's no one there, and it's
that's
like
creepy.
And I was like, oh no, I was like, I'm not.
I'm not about that.
Yeah, they're like, you want to listen? I'm like, no, I'm okay.
Okay. That is crazy. I don't know if you've heard this story, but The Conjuring. So a lot of the people on set, you know, whether it's the director, the actors, and pretty much everybody on set in general, I watch a YouTube on it, and from what they said was there was a lot of bad stuff happening while filming. So they actually brought in a real priest.
Oh, whoa.
Yeah, they brought in a real priest to bless the set. to bless every crew member
Oh, wow.
on the set.
Yeah.
And the fact that they had to
do that.
Yeah. The
Like,
fact they had to go that far, because I mean the place they were filming at wasn't even haunted. I
Yeah.
think it was just a soundstage.
it's probably just because of the content. They're just like bringing in a lot of weird energy.
And you never know what you're going to be conjuring in general. So it was
especially
like
some people like they'll use real spells or real scripts or real devil,
Yeah,
whatever.
see,
like they'll use the real shit. I'm like,
Yeah.
why? Or they'll
Yeah,
use like
yeah,
human
yeah.
bones. I'm like, no.
Exactly. Yeah. So I don't know. It was really crazy, but I just remember some of the actors, or one of the actresses, I forget her name, but she had mentioned, like she felt something was actually touching her.
Oh shit.
So I don't know if maybe they actually conjured something on The Conjuring.
Yeah.
So,
I love that movie though.
Yeah,
So
I
good.
love that movie too. It's definitely one
I
of
don't
my.
know that movie.
Like, no.
Honestly,
Okay.
like I can watch that movie over and over, and it still creeps me out. But it's like I don't know. I get that adrenaline where it's like, watching that movie, it creeps me out so much. It's like an adrenaline rush. I don't know why.
It is. It's like a fun adrenaline rush.
Yeah.
And like also, I think everyone thinks it's like a weird opinion of mine. I think it's like kind of the couple or whatever because it's a real life couple,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I always think it's kind of romantic because I'm like, how in the world? Like both of them are very different people.
Yeah.
You know? Like one's a psychic, one's a priest. Or like
Yeah.
you're not gonna find like someone on the internet to be like, oh wow, this is totally normal. Like,
Yeah.
Right.
So they're like soulmates, and
Yeah.
then when you think they're almost about to die, and I'm like, oh, it's kind of like a love story. They're literally like fighting for each other. Everyone's like, no, this is terrifying. I'm
Yeah.
like, no, but who are they? They can't date after this.
Yeah,
Who's
right,
gonna
right.
like them?
Yeah.
Like, so it's cute.
Yeah, no. Have you watched like the whole Conjuring universe with like Annabelle and all
yeah.
those? Like, do you enjoy the Annabelle films at all?
Not as much as the original Conjuring, but I still like it and stuff.
Yeah.
It's like still a cool universe, but I do like the original, like first and I think second Conjuring.
Yeah.
Yeah, from what I heard, so I'd say one of the ones that creeped me out a lot was the Nun.
Oh yeah, that
The
was
Nun,
creepy.
yeah, the makeup
They did
job
great
on there
makeup,
too.
yeah.
Yeah, the great.
Super good
It was
makeup.
it was really good on there. But I think they said they're actually working on the Nun 2.
Oh wow.
So I'm
was
kind
creepy.
of I'm excited because actually if you look back at the end of the film, it makes sense why there would be a second Nun 2.
Like the cliffhanger. And
Yeah. Like there was a cliffhanger, and then I think there was something where maybe that was almost near the part, but do you know how they talk about like in like the 1800s or whatever they put thread, and then there's a bell there, so because sometimes they bury people and they're
Oh
still
yeah,
alive.
yeah. So
Yeah.
they I don't know how many accidental burials
Yeah.
there are, but yeah, they have like a thread with the bell, so like
Yes.
if it's on accident, people like ring it,
Exactly.
so they can unbury
Yeah,
it. You know?
it's
Yeah.
crazy. So if I remember, that's how like the Nun 2 ended. So it's
there was
gonna
a ringing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then it was one of the main guys, one of the main actors. I think he got possessed.
Oh
by-
yeah, it was the guy because it was supposed to be like in a farm, like
Yes.
kind of this random place in like
Yeah.
Eastern Europe or
Yeah.
Western Europe. Yeah.
Yeah, and then they just travel off, and you just see the marks, and then the
But
film.
he has it. Yeah,
he has
that
it.
was a cliffhanger because I remember
Yes.
like they didn't actually exercise it because it went last minute. into
Exactly.
the guy.
So I'm excited for the Nun 2.
That'll be
and-
cool. I'll be
Yeah,
watch it.
you got to get on there. You got to do the makeup stuff on
I know.
there.
I'm really trying. I'm trying to get into the union, so that's
Yes.
what will let me get
Okay.
into more bigger films and TV shows. And
Yeah,
stuff.
no, that's dope.
Yeah, we're actually thinking about doing like a whole like October Halloween vibe
Yeah.
podcast. So I
We
think
gotta
that'd
have
be
you on.
great
Oh,
to have
thanks.
back.
I mean,
That's
you know,
what I'm saying.
we've been talking about this with, other people that really like Halloween or just kind of
Had
haunting,
encounters.
encounters and stuff like that. We were thinking it would be fun to, get people on to kind of, the vibe is going to be more spooky
Yeah.
and
That's
stuff
fine.
like that. So, and the fact that you love Halloween, I think it's only right we take
Okay,
it back
cool.
on and
That's what I'm saying.
just talk Halloween and creepy stuff.
Okay.
So
Right.
yeah, we definitely got to do that.
Exactly.
Going back to your career, of course. I mean, it was a good talk about the paranormal.
Sidetracked with all the movies.
Good stuff about the paranormal stuff. But like, did you or what was your first gig as a makeup artist?
My first gig. So let's see. Oh, it was on this thing called. Oh, I'm gonna blank on it. It's like based off this video game. I have no idea. I forgot the name, but it's something like based off a video game that's like a fan based like YouTube thing or whatever.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Fallout. That's what it is.
Fallout, okay.
Yeah, so there's like a fan based thing where people just make like
Yeah,
a storyline
films,
based on
yeah.
Right.
And so a group that does that, I was recommended by someone, and then they had me on to do makeup, just like basic like dirty makeup and character makeup and all that. And that was like my first time like on like actual set, even though it's like a smaller set, but like went out to the desert and they had this like, cool movie set and everything. And obviously I was like very nervous because I didn't know any set lingo and
Yeah.
stuff. Like I knew how to do like basic makeup, but like I definitely like learned a lot. I remember someone asked me like where crafty was, and I just pointed because I didn't know what crafty meant, which
Yeah.
is like the food
Okay.
craft services, like the food and snacks. And I just like pointed, and I was like, I don't know what the term was. But then I actually worked with one of the directors from that crew on a commercial like 5 years later, I told him, and I was like, you know, that was my first set ever. And he's like, what? And he's like, we would have never known, because I just like didn't tell anyone that was my first time.
Yeah.
But,
no, that's dope. You know, it's crazy because, you know, you didn't even go to film school or anything about that, so you didn't know like the lingo and all that. So I mean, I know with film industry, you know, it definitely works with a lot of networking, a lot of connecting. So it's like that's how you land your jobs. You know,
it's like all referral based.
Yeah, and you know, like just a quick take now that because you know you've been in the film industry and all that for quite a minute. Like, do you think film school is really needed?
I think it depends on the person. So like, since I didn't go to makeup school, I think for me, like majority of my friends who are makeup artists did go to makeup school, and I can like see what they tell me, which is different, because like, you know, I think they got their basic information and like stuff from it, but there's a lot of gaps that they told me that like they didn't do enough like people of color makeup, they didn't do enough people of color hair, or like not as much in depth for the special effects course was really small for the whole beauty course. So like they would only practice on other classmates, and like some classmates, like you said, weren't as like invested in it, which I still don't get, because they're paying to go there.
Exactly. That's what I you know, that was one thing I kept going back to, and for me that's a big subject, because it's like, so I went to 2 film schools. I went to the Arts Institute of Seattle, and then I found out about the LA Film School. Oh, nice. So I mean, LA Film School is where I actually graduated, but it was like cool. I was at Art Institute for 2 years, just getting my associates. Those were the people that literally did not pursue it whatsoever. You know, and I said this story before. I went back home one time just for vacation, and one of the guys I went to film school with is just working in a theater now.
Oh wow, that's even more sad though, because it's like a film theater, and not even unrelated.
Exactly, you know, so it totally is crazy. But you know, the people I went to film school at LA Film, majority of the people I've connected with, they're either in film or they're doing something outside of film. But it's like it's
still like in the realm of it.
Exactly, in the realm. Like one of the guys, he raps, so it's
that's
like
cool, still artistic.
Exactly,
like, he like that more as his passion other than film school.
Exactly, and you know, since he was already, you know, he graduated as well. It's like he knows how film sets work.
Yeah, so he'll know what he's looking for at least. Like if he wants to make his own music video or whatever, he'll know like the kind of like direction he wants for artistic creativity.
Exactly, and that's why he actually, you know, he reached out to me because he knows I was just more about film. Yeah, you know, so he reached out, hey bro, like, you know, I love your work. Let's shoot a music video. I was like, wow, you know, it's dope coming from another, you know, filmmaker that you would trust me with it. Yeah, he's like, no, I love your work. You know, like, let's just do work. I was like, damn, that's crazy. Awesome. Yeah, so, you know, like, I feel like it probably does depend. I'm not going to say, you know, like, just because I went to film school in Seattle, a lot of people don't continue to pursue it.
Yeah, it depends on the person. Exactly. I feel like it's like how much you said, like that mindset. So like you can have all the resources in the world, all the connections in the world, but it's like if you really like are determined to get to where you want to be. So a lot of people can do it with or without school. So I feel like, you know, film school and for a lot of things you'll probably learn technically. You make a lot of connections and friends and all that stuff and like maybe teachers. But then it's also like I think you'll be fine with it or without it depending on how motivated and driven you are. Yeah. And you have to just like really hustle and put yourself out there and like learn as much as you can because, and like, keep improving.
Like for me, like I was definitely on that fence of like whether or not I need to go to like film school and stuff like that. But actually moving down here and seeing how the industry works, like a lot of people, like you mentioned, like move to the next job and gig based on referrals as long as they could trust you and know that you're good for, you know, what they hire you.
It's all about your work.
Literally it's all about your work and like it's nice to be around for 12 hours.
Yeah, exactly. And you're a person who like, you know, validates that. Like you didn't go to school and you're getting all these big gigs and big connections and look where you are now.
So I mean pretty much saying you really don't have to go to film school. It's pretty much like who you know, it's all about your work and just making those connections. So, you know, I mean I kinda knew that as well, and that's why sometimes I do regret going to film school because it's expensive. Big debt. You know, big debt. So, you know, but I think it was the reason because I never knew I was gonna move to LA. You know, when I was going to Art Institute in Seattle, it was never my intention to like really move to LA until I swapped over and went to LA Film.
Oh wow.
That's where I was like, okay. Now I like LA, I love LA, and you know, I learned way more at LA Film than I did at Seattle Arts Institute. You know, so it was like at that awesome. You know, it's crazy too because so like I actually Art Institute was on campus. LA Film was majority online.
Oh, interesting.
But it was cool.
You've learned more.
Like, you know, like all the teachers, they've worked on film sets and, you know, stuff like that. So we actually had, you know, teachers that were teaching us that have the experience. Versus Art Institute, I feel like teachers didn't have that experience.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it was like they just kind of every 2 weeks they would swap teachers.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so I was like, what the fuck? Like, I'm wasting money on, you know, teachers that don't really know their thing.
Mm-hmm.
Or it's like they just rotate teachers every time. So that was one thing I hated about Art Institute because, you know, like we weren't really learning much.
Yeah.
That's why once I went to LA Film, I was like, damn.
Yeah, it's a lot different,
A lot different because you have your people that are actually in the industry are teaching you.
Mm-hmm. Versus, that's great.
Yeah. Versus people that I feel like, or they thought they were in the industry, wasn't teaching us anything.
Right.
Yeah.
You know? So, yeah, I mean, like I said, for me, I feel like if I was already kind of in LA, maybe I wouldn't need film school. But it was like, since I didn't think I was moving to LA.
Yeah, and you're from Seattle.
And I'm from Seattle. I was like, you know, I'm just going to learn film, do all the shit here. Yeah. Because it wasn't a thing I was going to move down here.
Yeah, that's so different too. That just happens. I feel like everyone's life path is so different, so there's no like right or wrong way or right or wrong time to do anything.
Yeah.
So it's like very individual.
Exactly.
So we talked a little bit about like you being a makeup artist versus a special effect artist. Having done both, like what would you think it would be like the most difficult part about doing each thing? You mentioned like being a makeup artist, you got to really focus on, you know, the person's attributes and their, you know, their eye shape, their nose shape. Like when it comes to being a special effects artist, you know, how is that different? And what do you find like is the most difficult about being a special effect artist?
We interrupt this episode with a word from our sponsor. Are you looking for a way to energize for the day? We got a product that will do just that.
Introducing Gamer Subs. Gamer Subs is a keto-friendly, 0-calorie, 0-sugar-based energy drink that introduces nootropics to sharpen focus and increase reaction time.
Gamer Subs is also organic caffeine-based that will maximize energy and endurance. To make it easier, each scoop used is 100 milligrams so you don't go over your daily limit.
Each tub of Gamer Subs contains 100 servings. Gamer Subs also provides caffeine-free tubs for those that just want their daily vitamin dose without the need for caffeine.
Not only do they have energy drinks, they also have dope merch, such as these waifu cups, t-shirts, and hoodies, and much more.
Are you ready to energize with Gamer Subs?
Use our code Artistry Drop on their website and receive a 10% off discount.
Hey, now back to the show.
It's different and also in the same too, because you're doing the basics of like sculpting someone's features, making some things more prominent, less prominent. I guess special effects, it is a lot more like, there's a lot more like chemicals, I guess. I don't know if this is the right word. But different stuff like adhesives and removers and glues and like different, different stuff like that. For me, it wasn't necessarily like harder. It's just like it's just all learning, honestly. You just have to learn different things and like airbrushing and proper removal and sanitation and how to like not damage your actor's skin during removal and like. And creature actors, I would like respect so much because they have to like literally sit in the chair for like hours for the makeup, and then they're also like limited, but depending on how much they have on them to like drink water and like move around and go to the bathroom, and then they have to act and then get it all removed too. So it's like a lot of respect for that.
So how long did it take you to like be comfortable in knowing like your own flow? Because obviously going into like every job, you got to approach it a little bit different depending on the concept. Yeah. Like, so how long did it take you to be like, okay, you know, I got my flow, you know, I got this thing down and I could go to any job and be proficient?
I guess I was like very overly confident in the beginning because obviously I moved after like 6 months of just like basic stuff. You know, I was like, I'll do it. But like obviously, I feel like no matter what level of year you're at, you're always learning because there's always so much new techniques that are being developed and products and like ways of doing things. So even people who've been in the industry for like 50 years, there's like a new product out that's like a new way to apply things. So I think it took me though like fully to become. So I've been a makeup artist for like 5.5 years ish, 5.5, 6 years, but for me to be able to do it full time when I wasn't doing like 4 other jobs was like about 1.5 to 2 years. So that's when I was able to like quit all my other side jobs and just only full time freelance. So that was like the best feeling ever.
That's dope.
Yeah, that is dope though. Like just the whole move down and you know you taking it seriously and just having that confidence, or you're like, I made it happen. I learned the basics and I'm ready to go. You know, that's also like really nerve wracking to do, but you know you did it. And now you're here. So like. Aside from being a freelancer, like you mentioned that you used to work at Universal for a couple seasons. Like, I want to know, like, for the people out there who want to do what you do full time, like, what are some pros and cons of like working corporate and also like being a freelancer?
Well, I guess it's different. So like, you know, most people. Or a lot of people, if they have a job, they'll have like a certain set hours, certain set paycheck. Like they'll be like there Monday through Friday, like whatever. When you freelance, it's like nothing, like you can make your own schedule, but also like if you're working 20 or 15 days, I don't know how many days, Monday through Friday a week, you're expecting that income. Right. But for this, like, you literally have to find each of your days for a job, especially in the beginning when it's not like people are just always calling you, they don't know who you are yet.
Yeah.
Right.
And so you literally have to like find each day of work and then get that income on your own. So it's like you have to look for it and like put yourself out there and like be comfortable with instability at first, to be like certain days will be super busy and certain times will be really slow, and then get used to like fluctuations. And then once you kind of just like breathe and go with the flow and you're like, okay, like it's fine, I know it's not the end of the world, no I'm never gonna not work again just because I haven't worked for like 3 days, like so you just have to get comfortable.
That's one, you know, like that's one thing, like being in Seattle, it's really hard being a freelancer. I feel like as a photographer, maybe you're going to succeed, but as being a filmmaker, shooting music videos, it's really hard because you do have to find, you know, or a lot of artists or whoever whatever your niche is, I guess, you know, because the niche that we were doing is music videos. But it's either finding those those artists or the artists finding us. And I feel like, you know, freelancing, you're successful in certain like cities. Like LA, I definitely think you're successful at, you know, there's so many jobs here versus like
great.
you know, versus, I mean, even in Maryland, like freelancing would probably be super hard.
Yeah, it probably is so hard because I know they film like a little bit out there. It's mostly like commercial wedding, like very very different.
Yes, exactly, and that's another thing that's popular in Seattle is like weddings and stuff. And that's you know I've been hit up so many times about like shooting people's weddings, and I'm like, this is not my thing.
Yeah, which is totally fair. I don't do bridal stuff.
Yeah.
Only very, very, like, once in a while. If it's, like, my best friend and she'll hire me, that's it. But, like, I don't do bridal stuff.
Yeah, I think it's because, you know, it's like you're so stuck on one niche and you're really trying to practice and perfect it.
Yeah.
It was just like us, you know, like, we want to just shoot music videos.
Yeah,
we don't, exactly. We don't want to shoot, like, wedding videos or commercials and stuff like that. That's not what we're trying to do. We're trying to practice on music videos, you know? So, like I said, I mean, with LA, I feel like the freelancing abilities is so much more versus, you know, like us, we come from smaller cities, you know, and stuff like that. And it's just so hard when you come from a smaller city. But that's why I said moving down to LA was super important for us to, you know, continue what we're trying to do as a career. You know?
And bouncing off of what he said, like, you know, doing weddings and stuff like that is cool, but at the end of the day, like, if it's not something that we love, you know, obviously, like, we're doing the passion because...
It's a lot of money, though.
Yeah, it is a lot of money. That's what I was saying. I was like, if you want to do a wedding, that's fine.
It's a lot of money.
You think about it a few times.
Yeah, you're like, maybe I'll just do it.
Yeah.
Which is fine. I know a lot of cinematographers, like, who would also be like, oh, if the season's slow, like, they'll do a wedding because you do get a lot of money fast. And even if they're not, like, super passionate about it, sometimes they're like, I need to pay a bill and do this. And, like, they have the ability to do it really well.
Exactly.
So.
Yeah,
you gotta do what you gotta do at the end of the day, but it does take the love out of it, you know?
Yeah.
It's more like, I'm just clocking in to a 9 to 5, you know, at that point, rather than doing something actually
you're passionate about. Yeah, it's a difference.
Yeah, so being in LA and really like doing the things we love and working with people who like enjoy the same things and we could feed off of the vibe with each other, like that whole creative process just makes it elevate it to like a whole different level when it comes to like the outcome of the product. But going back into the corporate, do you enjoy like being freelance rather than being in a corporate?
Oh, yeah, 100%. I like already from a young age, I knew I was like, I can't work for anyone else. Like, it's so hard. Like, I don't know. What's being able to like make my own schedule, like not have to answer to anyone, not follow like a hierarchy of like I don't know, because I hate the thing of someone's more important than someone else. Like I don't like that. I'm like, anyone from like the janitor to the CEO is equally important. I hate when people like treat each other
for sure.
differently. And so in the corporate world, there's like a lot of that.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And like I always like speak my mind really well. If someone's like disrespecting me, I will like tell them. I don't care if they're the CEO. And so it like wasn't my vibe, but I had to do it for a little bit in the beginning of LA. I did temp work, so that's pretty much like you sign up with like a temp agency and they'll assign you somewhere temporarily just to like office reception, like something super easy, but you get like a steady income. But it's only for like a few months, few weeks, and you can kind of be really flexible with it. So that one was honestly like a great avenue for me to go in the beginning, because I was doing like dog walking, temp work, makeup artist, like hair modeling, just like random shit to like make money. But the corporate world is just like, it's not for me, because like, you have to like ask people to take a vacation, ask people to do that, and like it just feels so like structured, and I don't like it. So now it's like good because I can like take off whenever, I can do whatever.
Exactly.
Build my schedule.
Make your own schedule.
Yeah, which I'm very thankful for.
So even if the terms were right with the company, you enjoy being freelance because you could make your own schedule, and obviously that hierarchy too, like that comes with like almost any company. Of course, some companies have it like worse than others. Of course,
I'm sure it's every field is different, and corporate is general.
But it's good to hear that you enjoy working freelance, because I feel like a lot of us, that's where we're trying to be as creators and stuff like that. Making our own schedule.
No, that's the goal. Like like we, of course, all of us right now, like we work 9-to-5 jobs, and just to afford what we can to pay for all of our equipment and the podcast.
Expensive.
Yeah,
it's expensive.
It is expensive, but like of course, like the goal would always be to try to be freelance and do what I want to actually do. Is work in the film industry, and I mean technically I kind of do. I work for the Academy, and I saw I saw your stories on the Academy too, and I fully agree with you.
Oh yeah, because they're cutting the.
It is cool. Right now I'm in their sister division with the museum, the Academy Museum.
Oh,
so
I visited that recently. It was cool.
How do you like it?
It was good. Me and my boyfriend went, and we saw like the film exhibit thing. Oh, sorry, I keep hitting this. Yeah, we saw like all the history of film, and it was really cool.
Nice, yeah. So I work on the media side of everything. So like all the videos and all that stuff you see in the museum.
Oh, it's so fun.
Yeah, it is
even
fun.
if that's corporate though, that's still like in your field. So it's fun. It's not like you're just doing something for like a real estate.
Like it's something for now. It's like I love doing it because it is the Academy.
Yeah,
it's so cool. But it's like I don't want to do that forever. I want to actually be able to set my own schedule, work on more sets, and do what I want to actually do. But it's hard.
It's not easy.
It's not easy, and especially I think the fact that I pretty much am already stuck in a 9-to-5. It's like that's where a majority of my time goes. And then when it comes to shooting music videos, doing the podcast, it's only weekends. So it's really hard to get more of our content or what we want to actually do out there, because 5 days a week I'm spending with the Academy.
Right.
I kind of want to get your take on the Academy, because I fully agree with you though. Like, the fact there was like no makeup artists or video editors on the Oscars this year. Like, what is your kind of take?
I think they tried to do that last year also. I don't know if they did do it or last minute they changed it. I think last minute they might have changed it or put it back. But I think it's like film editors, makeup artists, and like sound and like some other department too.
Oh, okay.
And so people will still get their award. They just won't record it or show it or do anything. So they're like cutting them from the actual segment for the Oscars.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And so I just think it's disrespectful.
It is.
Like,
you guys need your credit. Like, honestly, like with all the hard work that you guys do, especially on set, like video editing is really hard.
Editing is literally like you're editing the movie together.
Yes. I mean that needs to be credited, and that should be aired live on TV. Just like for makeup artists, just like you. A lot of the stuff like you do is a lot of labor. Getting the makeup right and all that stuff. So I don't understand either when I read that they're they're cutting that or whatever. But even the video editing, it's like video editing, like for us, like
so much.
It's essential. It's so
they wouldn't have a movie. They just have all this random footage.
And I would even say, like as like a filmmaker, videographer, like I hate video editing. It's so tedious.
Yeah, it's very hard.
But it's so much hours, but it's so much hard work. So I don't know why there's no credit being there during the Oscars.
Yeah, I feel like it's like, I don't know, because I guess people want to see the actors and like the face of the movie more, but also like the awards, I feel like it could be only like 30 seconds each. Like it could be really quick and like whatever, and at least it would just mean a lot of recognition. So it's like but I mean, that's always how it's been. It's like the above the line people are always like in the front, and then the crew and everything is like
exactly.
Less, but
I might have to talk to somebody. I might have to talk to somebody.
I'm not even in the union yet, but like still
No, but I fully agree with what you guys are mad about. Like everybody needs to be given their credit, and it should be aired live,
because it's a team effort too. Like it's my first time hearing about this, but like I was like, man, that's crazy that they're cutting that out, because because every person is essential to the final product. And definitely like being a makeup artist, you're the person who puts on the presentation of the actor
the whole time.
It's just like that's so key, and it's just as key as like being a video editor. That's crazy, dude.
Yeah, and I was even surprised when I read about that too. I was like, you gotta be kidding me. Like, these people need their credits. Like, especially I feel like when you are the one, like, coming from film school, it's like we learn that shit and we know how hard it is. It's like, but you're not gonna be given your credit.
Yeah, and it's crazy because like, you know, people work for years and decades and decades to get an Oscar. And it's like a very prominent like, thing that you should be proud of and be able to broadcast. And so it's like if someone worked for like 30 years and worked on like amazing movies and shows, and then they're just like, oh, we're just gonna cut it. You're fine. You could take the Oscar home though, but we're not gonna. And it's like it's just your 30 seconds to like, you know, feel good about it.
But still, I mean, honestly, that should be changed, and you know, hopefully it is changed soon. And
they might change it.
We see you get an Oscar.
You know?
We see you get an Oscar. That should always be the goal. You know, the end goal should always be working towards the highest award you can receive. And you know, hey, hopefully you work on, you know, a big set sometimes, and they eventually change everything with the Oscars, and you know, we hope you get an Oscar.
Oh, thank you.
Make that a goal. Make that a goal, okay?
Yeah, that is one of my goals. So.
Definitely, no, of course. So moving on, you know, I, like we said, you know, we did research on you. I found you on IMDb. You have a super long, like, resume of films and stuff you worked on as a makeup artist. Like, did you think that your career, like, as a makeup artist or VFX artist would land you so many gigs?
I'm obviously like very thankful for like each and every gig that I get, and I think that's like a credit to like having to work like 4 different jobs in the beginning, because like I remember like doing it and like I was like walking this dog. I would just like try and take every like wag walk, and just like there's one, it was like 11 p.m. in the rain, and I was like, I'll just take it because I needed the money. And I remember like doing it and I was like, oh, this is miserable, I hate this. But I was thinking, I was like, I'm gonna look back on this day and be so thankful that I don't have to like, you know, really hustle anymore, and I'll be really appreciative of every single gig, because I'll remember like what I had to do to like get to that point. And so now I'm just like super thankful for like each and every gig, and I am very fortunate to have, you know, worked on a lot of things, even being non-union stuff too. So
no, that's dope. Like when I was going through it, I was like, it's never ending. Like you've worked on so many. So I mean, that is really cool, you know, and definitely, you know, happy for you with everything that you've achieved and worked on so far. You know, like everybody needs, you know, something like that. You know, but of course, you know, you put in the work to get to the point where you are, so you should definitely be super proud of you. We got to give you some hand claps. Thank you. We got to give you some hand claps for that.
I still more. I still more that I like want to do. So you're always
of
like,
course, it's never ending. Like you know, you're always gonna have a new goal or dream to add on to the list. And you know, like I feel like that's like us. You know, it's like. One of my biggest goals and dreams was moving to LA. I finally made it happen. You know, so it's like now I'm on the next step, and then the next step, and the next step, you know. So, like I said, you know, just like with you, you got to keep adding more dreams and goals to that list, and you will achieve it, because I mean, the fact that you've already been on so many, you know, sets, you're gonna get to the big one.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, you're gonna get to the big one. Just keep doing what you're doing, and you know, I love your work as well. You know, so just keep doing exactly what you're doing. You know, you've worked on tons of music videos. What actually made you want to get into like the music video industry versus like film and stuff like that? But I know you work on both.
Yeah,
but what attracts you to more like music videos, would you say?
I think it's because, I don't know, I love how seeing like the song and you hear it, like, and then you see the visual representation of it and coming together. I feel like it's such a beautiful thing. Of like music story, like it's so huge artistic thing, and like people like it evokes a lot of emotions people to hear it, but then you put like visually something on top of it. And, like, I just think it's so cool. And you get to have a lot of like, a lot of people like don't like working on music videos, but I don't know why, because it's like so fun. It's creative, And like, I guess because it has the rap of like going like into overtime a lot and like trying to cram everything.
I've heard that too.
So I think it's because they try and, because usually music videos are like 1 to 2 days or whatever, like short, and so they try and cram a lot of like creative stuff into one. But I think it's more fun because like you get to, at least in my department, have a lot of creative freedom and have like really cool looks, even for beauty makeup, like really glammed up looks or very like exaggerated or body paint. It's just like such creative ideas for videos, and you get to really have fun, because I know in like TV and film, the majority of the time you'll just be like very basic standard makeup, and like that's what they want, but then for music videos you get to really like, I don't know, have fun with it.
Have fun with it.
No, exactly. You know, knowing that you do work for both, you know, film and the music video industry, is there like a difference on how things are like handled on set versus, you know, music videos and film?
A little bit, yeah, because I guess like film, it's more, sometimes more organized. It depends on the company. I feel like it's so different. Like it depends on who you're working with and what the set's like, what the AD's like, what everything is like.
Yeah, that's true.
So I feel like, and I guess, you know, like feature films and like shorts, it's like more structured because you have your whole schedule laid out for like weeks or months or however long it is. But there's a lot more continuity with features, because you have to like, music videos just one day and you're like, cool, this looks great. But then for features, you're like, I have to make sure that this look matches this look for day 3 and day 5, and you have to look back and like take all these like crazy notes. So it's just a lot of different aspects of both. But
no, that definitely, that makes total sense.
Yeah.
Now that we know that, which industry do you enjoy the most? Music videos or film?
I like all of it, honestly. I want to do all of it together. I mean, obviously my goal is to get on more like TV shows and stuff and features, but I also like having mixture things because like I get like bored very easily with things. So I love being able to like jump on a commercial one day, then jump on a music video the next, and jump on like a short film the next, and like really like break up my days. And I know like features and TV shows can go on for like 9 months of the year. Yeah. And so I guess it depends on like what shows and how different the makeup is and how different each day is. Yeah. So it's like different way because you bond really a lot with like, your crew for 9-8 months, however long it is, and then but you also get like the fun like different set everyday thing too.
Has there been times where you've worked on set with crew members for months and you think you're not going to see them again, but you eventually see them again?
Oh yeah, everyone always runs into each other. It's like it's such a small world. Like everyone knows. It's like 1 degree of separation. Like someone knows someone, or like even today I'm on set today technically right now, but they let me leave for the podcast. So
nice. Appreciate.
I have to come back.
No, I appreciate you guys for letting Shaina come on the show. Yeah, definitely appreciate it. So moving forward, with like the effects side of things, like, are you usually the one that comes up with the character and makeup ideas?
Well, usually it depends on the set, but sometimes the director will have like, their idea of like, we want this, like lizard alien creature, blah, blah, blah from this planet. This is the backstory. And then they kind of let me have like a creative freedom of like what I think that would look like. Yeah. Okay. Or sometimes people are like, oh, we want her to look like really glam, do whatever, and then they'll just give me like free range. Yeah. Okay. And I get to like create, but sometimes it'll be really specific and they're like, I want them to have like red eyes and this thing and that thing and like long nails. And,
Okay.
Yeah. So
that's old though.
Do you have to come up with like an example first, or you just do it on the spot?
Yeah, a lot of times they'll ask for. So I'm good with like reference photos because I like my hand drawing. Ironically, like I'm so bad at just like hand drawing things. So it looks like a 7-year-old did it, and I'm like, I swear I can make like an artist, but So sometimes I'll grab different reference photos, like this is what it would look like into this and like different stuff, and so they get an idea of it. Okay. And then sometimes depending on what it was, they'll want to be like hired for a test makeup, so like a half day, and like I get the actor and like they buy the prosthetics, like a whole separate set, and we do a test of it. But that's dope. Yeah, so that's like not as often too, because sometimes they'll just like trust the vision and like see the references. They're like, okay, they're like okay with it. But sometimes they do want to test makeup to make sure like the actor's comfortable and like to see the look and what they want like changed.
Oh, okay,
that makes sense.
Yeah, that does. So when it comes to like SFX, like, have you ever came across like a client where like their facial structure doesn't match the concept or the assignment that you were trying to achieve?
Yeah, so sometimes like so prosthetics, usually we can get generic pieces, which is like it's not custom made to someone's face, like it's just a generic mold of it. And then the custom pieces are like, so prosthetics range from like the super cheap ones that are like $20 to $50 to like $700 to $800 to $900. That's just generic. And then the custom is when you have to get like a life cast and they sculpt it to you, which is like thousands of dollars. Right. And so it's very rare that someone wants to spend like $5 to $10K just on the makeup budget. And so we'll get generic pieces, and sometimes like it'll fit too tight or too loose, or like someone's face shape is too small or too big for it, and you have to kind of like adjust within it.
Oh wow. So you have to do like a lot of cut and sew to make it fit, or
sometimes sometimes if it's like folding a weird way, it's called like I forget what it's called actually, but you just like cut it kind of like a little triangle, then you like put it together and kind of like fit it a different way. So we just have to adjust, but most of the time like our prosthetics that we get are like really good quality, and they kind of are generic. They will fit like most people's face shape. So a lot of times it's not too bad.
Yeah, that's dope. That's dope. You did kind of mention this about the process when it comes to like the client or whoever wants a specific character. Like when it comes to that process though, is that pretty much all you stick with? Is just finding reference photos, or will you sometimes sketch something? Because I know you did mention like sketching. It sometimes isn't there, but like, have you ever gone that route to the point where it's like you have so much creativity, you want to actually sketch it out and show them this is what I'm seeing?
No, I really don't sketch. I really don't draw, but a lot of times I will. If there's like a test, I'll like just for the color theory or whatever, I'll like do it on my arm or my leg or something and show them like, hey, these are the color patterns. Like this is what I'm gonna do. Yeah. Or if it's like a blood rig, but I don't do as often, but I can do some blood rigging. I'll like show them like, hey, this is how the blood shoots out, and this is how it is. So I'll send them videos of like the actual thing, or like a photo of just like the actual color palette or like design.
That's all.
Yeah. And so like going into SFX, like what would be like your most like memorable piece that you've worked on?
I think probably one of the more recent ones. I think it was like maybe 2 months ago or something. Okay. It was for the Doja Cat, French Montana, and Sweetie music video. So that one I was that was so fun because they let me just because I worked with that company a lot, Blank Square, and they're super so sweet.
No, I know all about them too. They're super dope.
Yeah, they're so nice. And so this one was the first big one that they let me really have full range with SFX makeup because I do a lot of beauty makeup for them.
Oh, okay.
And so they're just have fun. We really want to get you to do all these cyborg looks. So they let me hire a team of 5 other of my friends that are makeup artists, and we got to do cool Terminator style.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, I saw that. That's dope.
Yeah, so for the main guy, we did a bald cap on him and gave him the whole Arnold Schwarzenegger robot thing with the red eye.
Yeah.
And my friend sculpted that prosthetic piece since we got to apply it and everything. So it was really cool.
Oh, you guys killed it on that.
Oh,
no, it is dope. Yeah, it is dope. So when it comes to SFX, of course, a lot of us when we see it, it's damn. That shit must have taken forever. How long does it typically take you to actually finish up SFX on an actor?
It's a long time. It depends on how big it is. I think that one, I also had my friend Sasha working on it with me too. So it was 2 people, so it's faster. But I think for him, with 2 people, it took probably 3 hours or something, 3.5 hours. But then if it's just me, it probably would have taken a lot longer. And also it fits a full body creature suit with arms and other prosthetics. It could take a little long time.
Yeah, I can see that too.
Yeah.
What is the longest you've ever spent doing
makeup?
Yeah.
Actually, it was on body paint, which takes the longest, I think, of all of them. I think I was doing one full body paint, full top and bottom for 6 hours.
Damn. Oh, wow. That's crazy.
Yeah, so body paint takes a minute. I think that's why I don't do as many of the gigs, because not as many people for a film want to take the time to have a body paint because it takes so long. Unless it's just the torso. But it's a lot of fun.
No, that makes sense. Yeah. You've done work with so many dope music artists, from French Montana, Big Sean, Kyle, MGK, Dax, Wiz Khalifa, Chris Brown, Jeezy, The Kid Laroi, Nicki Minaj.
You did your research.
That took a little breathing to do. But, that's just to name a few. Do you sometimes ever pinch yourself and think about how crazy and blessed you are to work with these artists?
Oh yeah, every day. I'm always so thankful to have these opportunities and stuff that 5 years ago when I first moved here I would have never even imagined being able to work with such talented people.
Yeah,
right.
So it's really great. I'm very thankful.
That's dope though.
Yeah, because I always remember too, because I'm I always have to be grateful because if there's a reason they chose you for this job. There's a million other makeup artists they could call for this job, and a million other lighting people, camera people, but they all chose those people for a reason. So I'm always very thankful. That
definitely have to be proud of yourself. Yeah, let's give us some more round of applause for out here right now, killing it. Yes.
So I saw that you did SFX makeup for Brent Pella.
Oh yeah.
And Blake Weber, and they made a comedy video of dressed as blue aliens. And I thought that video was hilarious, and the work that you did was amazing. I was blown away. That looked realistic.
Yes.
I noticed you do a lot of aliens on your IG. Would you say those are one of the most fun to do?
I think that was just the most requested. I don't know what it is. My other makeup artist friend too is is this the year of the alien? Because everyone just kept wanting every just production for comedy for music video for film, everyone just wanted aliens. I don't know what it was. I mean, they're fun because they're so versatile. You can do so many different things with them.
Right.
But yeah, people just requested it. I didn't even go out of my way to do it.
That's cool. I think we want to be aliens.
Hey, we might have to be aliens for the podcast. Who knows? That would be cool. When you're working with an artist or an actor, they're in, you mentioned, they're in the chair for hours. Are there times where you will start a conversation with them, or is it just quietness the whole time?
I'm pretty talkative, so I feel I'll start doing a conversation and stuff, especially because I always play some music if they want. I ask them do they prefer music or not music, because sometimes if it's a narrative role, if we're in a feature, a short film, or a TV or whatever, they want to read lines, or they want to rehearse, or they want to get in whatever mind space. So then that's the only time they're oh, I'm going to read lines, and I'll just be quiet during it. But a lot of times I just talk to them about everything, and then I'll have some music in the background, so it's not always silent. But but just a lot of talking for me.
Of course, that's good. Yeah, no, because I was just wondering, you mentioned, they can be in there for a few hours, and I mean, for me, I'm very talkative as well. So I feel if I'm, if I was you working on somebody and it's quiet for hours,
it'd be
awkward,
weird,
so I would feel super awkward. So I just kind of wanted to get your take on, since you work on these actors and actresses for hours, and they're just sitting there, if there's points where it's it just gets awkward if nobody's talking.
Yeah, that's why I have a little speaker with me that I bring just for makeup or just for some ambiance and stuff. But most of the time I feel fine. I don't care if they're silent or not. But I feel a lot of people for barbers, makeup artists, and like people like actors want to tell you their whole life, so like they feel like comfortable, so like they'll tell you about all their stuff, and, like their life, childhood trauma, like whatever they want to tell you. So like,
no, that's true.
Yeah,
you know, with all the artists I named, I mean, those are artists you had worked on the music videos, but which of them, like, have you worked on?
Like directly?
Yeah, directly.
A lot of times, so a lot of artists, like celebrities, actors, or musicians, or whatever, singers, will have their personals. So it's like their personal hairstylist, personal makeup artist, and personal like wardrobe stylist that they'll always bring with them to whatever set. So a lot of times when they're already that big, they already have their people that they hire, and they pay separately through a different budget. But some of them, sometimes like for specialty, like for special effects, you get to work on them. Or like for guys, a lot for male grooming, sometimes they don't have a personal, or sometimes they'll be like, oh, whatever, whoever makeup artist you have, I'll like do that. So I did French Montana's like makeup, like his like normal camera ready makeup, but he had his own like barber and stuff too, and like stylist. And then Machine Gun Kelly, I did his makeup because it was like a tattoo cover up and then like a blood rig. But he had his own personal like actual like set makeup artist too. And then I'm trying to think of what other celebrities.
There's too many, huh?
No, I actually haven't done like that many celebrity like makeup, especially not female too, because like they already have their main people. So it's been mostly like male grooming that I've done that are like on actual.
You did work with Dax though, right?
Yeah, I did work with Dax. I did his. What did I do on him? I think I did like some type of blood makeup on Dax, and then what's it called? Who else did I do makeup on? And like Trinidad James do some like other stuff with that, and like just other people. It's mostly males. I think that did male grooming because I feel like this female celebrity artists will already have like their people already that like go with them.
So when they bring their own personal, is like. Do you like collab with them, or is it more of like, oh, I'm gonna let them do their thing, and then you don't like work on them at all?
Oh no, you just let them do their thing. Yeah, they just do their thing because like that's like their people and stuff. Like,
that's what
they already been for a minute, but like so I feel like for females mostly it's been like that. But then for a lot of males I'll do like male grooming on them if they're like chill with it. Or like special effects, I get to have like a separate thing and be able to like do that.
Yeah, that's a whole separate thing.
Yeah, I was on like the show though, which one was fun. I got to do like more because you know like the Ashley Graham show or whatever.
I've heard of it.
Yeah, so she has like it's like celebrity guest stars will come each day. I worked on it. She films them in New York, but she did a lot in LA before, and so we'd have like different people come on, and so I'd be able to do like their makeup, and I did like Sophia Bush and like a few other actresses because they would be like, oh, come in and get touched up. So that's like a way that I was able to like have it because they didn't bring their personal. I think the only person that brought their personal was like Demi Lovato because she's Demi Lovato. So I didn't do that.
No, that's dope. So you know, knowing as much that you have done on like you know so many music artists, you know, music artists, music videos, or you know actors, like. Is there any specific ones that you really enjoyed working on, like music video wise or movie film wise?
Like who had the best personality, I guess? Or like
I mean, I guess like personality or like what was the best experience you had? Like maybe working with an actor or actress while you were like doing your SFX.
Liza Koshy was really funny because I think she's just really funny and like she just makes everyone feel like their best friend immediately as soon as she like talks to someone. So I think it's like about someone's vibe. Like a lot of people aren't standoffish and like who actually like are able to like talk to crew members and like. Roddy Ricch is nice. He like literally hugged like every single crew member goodbye and was like thank you. And I was like wow, most people don't take time to like thank the departments.
Right.
And so it was really nice. And then I think it's just honestly like whenever a celebrity or person is like sweet, like when I was working on MGK's thing, like Megan Fox was there because she was there to support him. And then she like comes up, she's like, "Hi, I'm Megan," and like shakes my hand. And I'm like, "I know who you are." Like you don't need to, but it's like sweet that she like takes the time to like actually like come up to people and say hi when you don't need to, you know?
Yeah,
exactly.
Do you ever get like starstruck sometimes when you see some of these like celebrities or artists at all?
Most of the time, no, because like I mentally will prepare and know that they're on the call sheet, like they're gonna be there, and like so I've never actually ever taken a photo with any clients or celebrities like ever, just because like I feel like it's like taboo or like so like
one of those people.
Unless there's like a BTS photographer while I'm doing something to get it, but I've never asked them, but like I just feel like they're normal people. If they're nice or if they're an asshole or whatever, there's people. I think the only time I'm starstruck is like I'm just out in real world, like at the grocery store, and I run into someone, I'm like, oh shit, so like I will freak out, because I think. I just like freak out because I don't expect them there to be doing like normal human things.
Exactly.
Who would you say you would be more starstruck on? Like if you were just to randomly see them out? Like who are you a big fan of that you would be starstruck on?
I know it's funny because like I feel like I get more starstruck from like big makeup artists in my industry. So like if someone who's like working on American Horror Story, like really big names that like not the average people know, but only people in our industry know. So then I'll be like, oh my gosh, I get to see this person. Like so I get more starstruck for like really big people in our industry who've been like OGs and like have done it for so long.
I feel like in general though, like you know, with the work you do and you're on these big sets with a lot of celebrities in general, the regular person would be starstruck. They wouldn't be able to focus on the work at all.
Sure.
You know, so
like shaking.
Yeah. No, so it's dope that, you know, you kind of do take that as a training. Like, you look at the call sheet, see who's on set today, and, you know, if there's a celebrity, you're like, okay, I have to chill. I can't get starstruck, you know, and stuff like that. So, no, that's definitely cool.
Yeah, and you're working with them, like, one-on-one.
Yeah.
So that's different, too. Us being, like, in the film industry, we'll talk to them and stuff like that, but, like, really, like, since you're doing the makeup, you're like sitting with them.
Yeah,
and you're working with big
close,
people, like big celebrities. You know, we haven't got to that point yet.
Of course,
You know, so hopefully we do get to that point eventually. But you know, I don't know about starstruck. I don't know.
But
about starstruck.
I do get nervous because if I am actually, it's different like working on their video because you're not with them. You're just with like the people who are background or featured and doing that. But if I'm actually like having to work one-on-one in their trailer, like I will be like, okay, just be cool. Don't don't fuck it up. Don't make them mad.
Yeah, exactly.
So I like am still like prepped because I do have to work so close with them. And sometimes they don't want me to talk. Sometimes they do want you to talk. Like, and you just have to like gauge their personality.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah.
So out of like doing beauty, body paint, and SFX, like what is your like most favorite to do?
That's hard. I really like all of them. Like they're so fun. I think I wouldn't give up any of them. But I think the one that I probably have like a lot of fun with is special effects makeup, just because I do get to like transform and like have a really cool like creative freedom with it.
Oh, okay.
But it does hurt my back more because you're standing. It was like you're standing for so long, and like the removal too. So it's like your back hurts a lot more from it. But because beauty makeup could be like, you know, an hour and a half, but then special effects you're like standing for like so long.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I definitely have to stretch after
That
it
makes
was
sense.
set. And
That makes sense.
So what do you love like most about being like a makeup artist or special effects? Out of like all the three, like what do you love most about being all of them in general?
I just feel like, just the joy I feel like is actually just from like meeting different people on set, and because it's so interesting to hear everyone's story to get to that same place in that room. So it's like, I don't know, it's so fascinating to hear like people's story, like your story of like coming to Seattle and doing this, and like everyone's different career path and stuff. And so I feel like that's my favorite part, is just getting to interact with people and like be surrounded by so much driven people. Like in LA, like there's so many people who are entrepreneurs and self-starters, and like they've done so much to like get to that point and like make their own business, and it's like
inspiring.
Cool. It's really inspiring because like
not only your own journey and like having that mindset for yourself, but really like feeding off of that energy from other people who you know journey from long ways. You know, that's why we have this podcast, you know, is to inspire other people from our stories and from the guests that we bring on. And also like, so being an artist, like I noticed like everybody has their like own signature when it comes to singing, rapping, being a dancer, actor. What would you say is your signature? Have you found like your type of signature when it comes to like special effects or makeup artists?
I don't know if it's like, I feel like that would be for like an audience to describe, because I know that I feel like the biggest compliment if you're like an artist of like painting, drawing, rapping, whatever, makeup, fashion, if someone can like recognize that's your piece of like, oh, that person made your denim jacket. Like if someone can have an eye and like know that's yours, I feel like that's like the highest compliment, is like to know, recognize your style, like style of painting, style of whatever. So I guess if someone recognizes that, it's really cool.
No, that's true.
I don't have a signature style.
I definitely agree with that answer, though. Yeah, I see what you mean.
Yeah, and so being on the flip side, like, are you able to pick out other SFX like signatures, especially when it comes to horror films, like Freddy Krueger and stuff like that? Like, are you able to pick up? Oh, this is that makeup artist.
Sometimes, because I feel like there's a lot of people who do many things well, but I feel like sometimes some certain people's style are like, oh, that must have been like, this is makeup artist, and you like look in the credits and see that it is, because it's like they're known for their like hyper realistic like old age, or they're known for like something else. So
we interrupt this episode with a word from our sponsor. Are you a gamer and looking to amp up your gaming setup? Then we've got an amazing gaming brand for you. Tilted Nation strives to get their customers involved with their development process of new products in order to establish a personal connection, and not to mention truly optimized products for the gaming community. They want to go beyond developing amazing products and to lead the gaming community into a united community that works together. A community that pushes gaming essentials to unimaginable heights. They've hooked us up with amazing gear such as this gaming headset stand, mouse pads, and this awesome laptop RGB stand right below my laptop. And now they're hooking you guys up. Use the discount code Artistry Drop on their website, link below, and receive a 15% discount. Now back to the show. Okay, so kind of going back to, you know, like you being on set, like how long are you typically on set for, like on a day?
Well, the standard is like 12 hours, so it's like for other people they'd be like, that's so long. And I'm like, your body kind of gets used to it. But I know during like the IATSE strike, maybe last year, a few months ago. So it's pretty much like, so all the unions, like all the departments, like camera, lighting, electric, makeup, they wanted on strike for like better working conditions and hours.
Oh, okay.
So they wanted to make the standard 10 hours instead of 12, because like it is hard, because like plus the commute is like if it's an hour or two, you're like it's 14, 16 hours your day. If it goes overtime, that's like literally like 20 hours your day.
Exactly.
And you don't have time. If you have like a family, if you have kids, you have like someone you have to take care of, like you don't have time to like get groceries, cook dinner, like spend time with people, or you like miss your significant other. Like so it is harder. So I think they're trying to shift that to like, you know, give it a little more.
Yeah, you know, I agree with that, because I seen exactly what was happening on the news, and you know, it's messed up what they're doing, and so you know, hopefully that all gets fixed and adjusted very soon. Yeah. You know, so you guys can make that pay that you deserve, and you know, work a limited amount of hours, because I know it's 12 hours is tiring.
Yeah.
To be on set, you know, especially like, you know, he's been on set for like music video, like Ed Sheeran and all that, when, you know, pretty much that's it, you know, like he only has one part, but you still got to stay on set.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, so
even though you're not needed.
Yeah, even though you're not needed. And I that makes sense. You know, I've learned that as well, but it's like, damn, like you got to stay here for 12 hours even though you aren't needed anymore. You know, so hopefully that gets fixed, and you know, everything goes how it should be.
Yeah, I think so too, because I feel like it's like a budget thing, because I know like producers and stuff are like, instead of, if something's like 30 days for 12 hours, they don't want to push it to 40 days for 10 hours. So like all that. But I feel like if they really structure it, they can get things in like 8 to 10 hours like per day.
Exactly.
It's just that it's been so long that's always been 12 hours that I think it's different. But because before, especially when you're grinding and you're first starting out, you're going to want to say yes to like every single gig and like double book yourself and just like go no sleep all the time and like really grind, which I've been very guilty of, just like not sleeping or taking care of myself. And it's like a lot of people like fall asleep at the wheel. I've had like 5 or 6 friends like total their car from like driving home. That's like, luckily all of them have been fine, but like and I've definitely like been sleeping like before, so it's like very dangerous too. So it's like
exactly that needs to be changed soon. You know, you're risking a lot of people's lives. You never know what's gonna happen. So hopefully that shit is changed very soon.
For sure.
Moving forward though, like, you know, kind of going back to what we were talking about, you know, working on music artists and stuff like that. Like, is there anybody specific you would love to, you know, work on in the future? Like any music artist you're a huge fan of, and like I want to do this, you know, to this person, or
I feel like Kendrick Lamar would be really cool too.
That would be dope.
Fun. Or like Tyler the Creator, he has such fun creative videos and stuff, which would be fun. And then The Weeknd has also very creative, fun videos, and he's been doing a lot of special effects stuff, and like
that's
like
true.
It would be fun.
Yeah, that's dope.
Especially with his like you know, the old face.
Crazy. Oh my gosh,
so realistic.
And even Doja, like she's been doing a lot of crazy,
a
lot of crazy visual effects on her sets, and you know, all the makeup and stuff. It's crazy.
Very creative.
Very creative.
Yeah, very creative.
Yeah, you can tell like she definitely. I don't know if she comes up with her own concepts or if it's the director, but there's definitely like a high level of creativity that goes to like every music video. So for you, like being in the film and entertainment industry for like many years now, have you thought about like pursuing something other than being a makeup artist?
Actually, no, I haven't. I like haven't.
You just love it.
Yeah, I just love it. I love being on set and stuff. And in the beginning, I was like, oh, maybe I could, because I have these ideas, like whenever I hear a song or something, I have this like whole image in my head of like the video itself playing out. So I was like, oh, maybe I could like creative direct or like whatever, because I obviously don't know how to direct, so you have to know the lighting and the camera and stuff and like all that.
Right.
But creative director, you kind of just have the idea and get to like show your creativity with it. So like maybe that would be something that would be cool. I haven't
have you like
tried.
dabbled into it?
No, I haven't. But that's the only thing that I've been like, that would be like the only other fun thing to be like, not full time obviously, but to like maybe do that once would be fun.
That's dope. You know, you earlier in the podcast, you know, you mentioned you have been inspired by a lot of like other makeup artists. Who are your top inspirations when it comes to that?
I think Dick Smith is like the OG of it, and then also V Neal is like one of the first like huge female special effects makeup artists. She did like Edward Scissorhands, she did Miss Doubtfire, she did like Lost Boys, like so many like iconic huge movies and stuff, and she's still been going. She's been doing it for like decades and decades. And so she's like very inspirational too, and just a lot of different artists, like very like OG makeup artists from back then.
Have you met any of them? Like being in the industry for so long, like have you met any like OG or like big time SFX or makeup artists?
Well, a lot of them will be like in like the conventions. So, like there's makeup artist conventions and like special effects conventions. So a lot of them will be there and like see them. So I met a few of them, and I met like V, and I was like, oh my gosh, they're like amazing. But everyone like comes up and like fangirls.
Exactly.
So just to see their work and stuff. So.
Yeah. No, that's dope. You know, before we end the podcast, we usually have a segment where, you know, the podcast is all about being inspirational to, you know, the next generation of people, you know, artists in general, or just people that really want to get into something. So what advice would you give to someone trying to, you know, get into being a makeup artist or SFX makeup artist?
I guess I would just tell them to just, you know, follow their heart, follow their passion, and then always do things with good intentions, and you'll be fine.
Hey, simple as that. That's all it is, guys. Are there any shout outs you'd like to give to our viewers or anybody out there?
I wasn't prepared for shout outs. I have no idea who to shout out. Thank you.
This is your Oscar.
This is your Oscar acceptance award.
Shout out to just everyone who's, you know, been an amazing friend, an amazing artist, and very talented, and who's been inspired me literally from like every department, from like PAs to art department to sound to DPs to like all my friends and family and everything. Just very thankful.
No, that's dope. Where can the people find you on social media?
My social media handle is Shaina_makeupfx.
And we will link all those anyways, even though it is just that one. And you got a YouTube channel, don't you? No, you don't have a YouTube channel? Okay, well, we'll just link the Instagram. we'll link the Instagram, and, you know, you guys can check out her work. She has amazing work, so go check her out. If you guys enjoyed this episode, please give us a thumbs up, hit that comment button, hit that subscribe button. If you guys are, you want to listen to us on all major streaming platforms, Spotify, Google Podcasts, all that, we're on there as well. And we hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and we will see you guys on the next one. Peace.